this real quick before going live. Smart people do that. Hello. You can hear me?
Audio.
Okay, I got audio, but y'all don't got audio. So now I gotta fix.
Test.
Welcome, fellow travelers. My name is Ezekiel King, and I'm joining Chibi and Vertek at the Golden Feather. Come on in, grab a seat, and let's share tales of adventure.
Yes. Hello.
It keeps going to default. It's not saving. There we go. Okay. Hello. You should be able to hear me now. And in chat, BC, Sosin and Mackenzie, test?
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Okay.
test.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm getting
Cool.
blamed.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So this just it wasn't saving. Yay, OBS not saving. Let's go through that whole spiel again. Huzzah, indeed. Doop-a-doo. I'll just trim it from the beginning. Welcome to the Golden Feather Tavern, where your host, Chibi, and Vertek, who is unfortunately sick this week, discuss Ashes of Creation and important topics spoken about within the Ashes community. At the Tavern, we invite you, the viewer, and a couple of special guests to pull up a chair, grab a pint, and join the conversation with us. Today is the 6th of September, 2025. We're on episode 243, something Nexus. No super funny, punny title for that today. And the traveling bards joining us today are Sos and Mackenzie. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Doing good again.
Now that they can hear you. Huzzah. So today we're going to be discussing some primary topics from the Ashes of Creation development livestream from August, as well as some of the things that we found most curious about the interview with Doc Burns, also known as Ashes Relation or the Copium Clinic. And basically, from that, there's also some of the major things that have happened this last week, but I'll get to all of that in a moment. Vertek went and got sick from that other game. I see how it is. Right, exactly. First and foremost, we are part of Guild Nexus, and this stream is a little bit kind of not really impromptu. It was still planned. It just didn't have much ahead of time planning that I like to get. So we didn't have a proper intro for it. And there was so much that happened while we were at PAX. And since we got back from PAX, that I didn't have time to get all of the notes together. So real quick, want to shout out Ash's Moments on Twitch or Twitter. He has a YouTube as well. They put out a couple of like overviews for like both the dev stream and the interview with Steven, so that I was able to grab like a synopsis. I did listen to both of them. I just didn't have time to write out all of my notes the way I usually do. So without further ado, Sos, you are the guild leader of Nexus, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The single guild leader. And if there's any other challengers that want to, say anything, 1v1 me. I mean, I'll win.
Cheers, Sleepy Goblin. Thank you. Also, cheers to Taffy. I appreciate both of you. And Kenzie, you are a newer form of a person in our guild. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I like to call myself the First Lady, though, if you can.
The First Lady. Oh,
Can-
yes,
if
I
you can
forgot. I'm
continue.
sorry.
Thank you.
I got your title wrong. First Lady of Nexus. Not Mort at all. Not Mort at all. Fight. Yeah, it's Sos versus Zara. Exactly. So for those that don't know what Nexus is, I can always do my spiel, but I want to hear your spiel this time, Sos.
My spiel
On Nexus.
On Nexus.
Who and
Nexus
what
has
is
been
Nexus?
around. Ooh, I honestly think we might be the oldest guild in the community currently, like that was homegrown.
Like
for
Ashes specific. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we probably are. A few others have exited, since phase 2. But we've been here since Kickstarter days, and we got a lot of high backers from Kickstarter too. But yeah, we've been around. We pretty chill community. Our VCs are sometimes very drunken, good times, and a lot of chit chatting.
I won't really say too much about what we get into within the Discord, but I will tell you, Oracle had first seen us in the live stream like this and joined the Nexus channel, and oh my gosh, Seiken. And after getting to know me in Nexus, was like, this is a whole other side of Chibi I never thought I'd see. Oh
Chibi's
my gosh.
contained on the stream.
I am
In the guild.
We have to be professional, there's only so much I can release within certain spaces. She's an animal otherwise. Oh my gosh. So well, I don't really know. I guess we could say what are the typical goals for Nexus with Ashes of Creation, and especially when navigating things like these different phases that we're going through.
It's definitely been different between the phases. Phase 1, obviously, we were being a lot more competitive because it was, fresh and new, and everybody wanted to jump in, and there wasn't really much burnout. But phase 2 hit. I think everyone kind of noticed the slowdown from the content perspective. And it definitely, we had a lot more burnout. A lot more people were like, hey, just take a break. No rush. It's not going anywhere. Phase 2.5 kind of took everyone by surprise, and we're like, okay, everybody, let's mostly take breaks. PTB is going to be around.
Yeah.
Learn what you can, have fun where you can, just don't burn out, because we're all here to have fun.
Yeah.
We're all here. We mostly have competitive gamers that we play around with, and that is the community that we kind of attract, and we have a good time with each other, but that is mostly what we attract as membership. So
Yeah.
And then phase 3, I mean, we're back in it. We're back in it. We haven't really positioned ourselves to be like massively competitive, but we are trying to, have fun, do some heavy PvP, hit our levels where we can.
Be the bane of the devs with all of our bugs.
We do report a lot of bugs.
We do.
Probably between Chibi, Vertec, Oracle, and Irwin, of course. I think we probably have more bugs reported than most other communities.
I don't think I go one session without reporting some sort of bug.
Irwin is like a magnet for him. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know
He
how he
finds
finds them. I don't want to know how he finds them. I don't think the devs want to know how he finds them.
He just
but
tinkers
does.
around and plucks away.
Yep. So, what primary class are you guys intending on, or I guess I should say archetype for the class, are you intending on testing, going through like the alphas and everything, especially with Summoner, as we'll get to it, being, not out yet, but soon, TM.
I mean, I've been a ranger since the beginning. I've tried all the other classes. They interest me, they don't interest me at the same time, but I typically gravitate towards a tank archetype. It just doesn't play well for me, and I look forward to them obviously changing up the style that it is, because obviously everything's going to get retouched.
Yeah.
But as of right now, Ranger is a very simple play style for me. It allows my ADHD to not go too wild. So, I mean, there's that.
Fair.
I'll be a Vine bot for a while in PvP, but it's okay. Somebody's got to do it.
It's needed.
What about you, Kenzie?
Right now I'm playing Rogue, which is something I never thought I'd ever say in my life. I'm liking it. I'm kind of at an in-between in a lot of classes. Like I've played Fighter, I've played Cleric now, and both of them are kind of lacking the depth that I want. But so far, Rogue with its backstab, keeping me on my toes a little bit more.
Yeah. I think it's annoying how awesome some of the other classes are, that like I have a lot of fun as like a bard or like a rogue rather than cleric. And I think Vertec himself, he's not here to talk about it, but I think Vertec himself even has said like he will level the tank just to get it leveled, so that way when they finally do release, if they don't wipe before then the secondary or the changes to the skill trees, he'll already have it leveled up to at least be able to experience it. But otherwise he'll probably just mainly be on the bard this phase. And I'll probably be on bard or cleric, and then eventually play around with a rogue just for funsies. But yeah, so I think that there's a lot that we need to get to in terms of content for Ashes, and I think that they're working on catching up on things. But I would say, what has been the biggest hurdle so far, and your favorite change so far into phase 3?
The hurdle, obviously the time it took to get here, but changes. I still haven't seen it, but a lot of the Anvil's region, man, I traveled a long distance to go and make our guild.
Yeah.
Long distance that first day after we found out.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful out there. Definitely some mob clustering that's an issue, but that was a fun journey, and I look forward to the other regions as they add them.
Fair. What about you, Kenzie?
I guess my biggest hurdle is just trying to stay attentive whenever the grind gets kind of tedious. I'm the first one to dip, man. I'll 100% admit that, you know, monotony pushes me away.
That's fair.
But going into it, the biggest change I like so far is that those starter quests are kind of game changing for me.
Yeah.
Just being able to start like practically level 6 with a decent set of gear and just get right into it. It's ensured that I'm around for a lot longer than I would be like phase 1 or 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's a good number of people out there that really do enjoy, thank you for the follow, welcome to the tavern, that really do enjoy that kind of grind feel for leveling. But I would say a good number of us, either from the other parts of the MMO community or other games like RPGs and things like that, we tend to prefer a good balance of grind and questing. And when it's primarily grind, it's kind of demotivating, I would say. So that, and it's obviously they're still a very, very rough place with their creatures. Not only do they have it in the anvils, but they also have that out in the desert where there's still like these giant clusters of like scorpions and everything. But I would agree with both of you, you know, that the anvils is really pretty. Also, I feel like the changes to the questing that we do have is really, really nice because it is allowing us to get to a point where you know, you can actually level at a decent rate. And I'll get more into that a little bit coming up here. But other than that, is there anything that you guys want to talk about with Nexus specifically before we get into everything else?
Nothing crazy. I mean, obviously, we're always looking for new people.
Fair.
We're not heavy on like public recruitment.
Hydrate. Thank you.
We don't typically advertise too terribly much. Mostly it is you come, you find us, you have fun with us, and
That's all we ask.
that's kind of all we really ask of people is listen, if you're competent enough to have a good time with, most things can be taught for you to be competitive and be a good player. So
Yep.
just got to have a willingness to want to.
I almost want to say we have a competitive practice with a casual atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so.
So I like that a lot. It's been very comfy and cozy. It's really nice to get done with work at 5 p.m. on a Friday and be like, you know what, I want a drink. And then I hear like Erwin cracking up a can. So yeah, I think it's really, really nice. All right, so getting more into the actual official stuff, I just want to get a couple of news pieces out of the way real quick. First and foremost, that's not his first my 5, that's yeah, exactly. Hold on, let me grab an image real quick I want to share with you guys. This is 1080.
It's not his first can, absolutely.
Let's see, did I download it? I think I did. You know, I'll just do a screenshot because I think I did. I definitely screenshotted it. Did I? You know what, I'll just go. Yeah, I got it. Okay, sorry, I'm figuring it out. So first and foremost, I would like to say we are proud to announce that we will be having Steven Sharif on for an interview for next Friday. So if you would like to have your thoughts added, granted, this is at the time of this recording, which is September 6th. If you are seeing this beyond like the 10th, we've probably closed off any questions because we needed to make sure that we got the questions in at a reasonable time. But that being said, our Discord has a place where you can always go and put your questions for Intrepid. You never know when we're allowed to have one of these. We never know when we're allowed to have one of these. So come and join us and share your questions. And who knows, maybe it'll spark a whole conversation within the Discord. That being said,
the myth, the legend.
Yes, the man, the myth, the legend. That being said, real quick, Ashes is asking for your thoughts on phase 3 progression and like first week feedback. So be sure to go share that with them so that they can have that kind of information that they need. And finally, if you have missed it, last week they had both their dev live stream and an interview with the Copium Clinic. So if you have missed that, go check those out. I'll have those linked below after we get done being live. Excuse me. But in the meantime, just go check it out. So let me just go ahead and do this. There we go. All right. I'm doing a one girl show today. So where do we begin? There's a lot going on with Ashes of Creation, phase 3, and I have to turn off the CC. There we go. Can you tell I Zoom read some of these things? So Intrepid is aware of concerns over crafting in the economy, and they will be having continuous updates over the coming weeks to address these. And I will say that that is one of the biggest things I've seen since coming back from PAX is the feelings on crafting. So what are your guys' feelings on crafting, and how does it feel for you currently? Do you like the direction it went? Do you not like the direction it went? And also, the guests always go first. I will follow up my thoughts after you.
Oh boy, it's gonna suck because I haven't really touched crafting that much in phase 3.
That's fair.
It has been a whirlwind. From what I've heard, a lot more materials. It's a lot more cross-pollination of things and region-specific stuff for some recipes. And I think it's just probably a bit bloated. It needs to be tweaked.
Oh my gosh, Sarah. Cheers. Aren't you supposed to be at work or something?
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
By the way, I'm drinking the Dwarven Fire, if anybody is wondering. That's the video that we put out on our channel. So.
I think she just wanted the #1 gift spot.
Aw, that's cute.
Probably.
Oh, wait. Mord. Big, beautiful goddess Mackenzie. Cheers, Mord. Thank you so much. Huzzah.
Big.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Zara. So Riptide is saying material costs are fine, regent costs are right where they need to be, in my opinion, but I'm in the minority. Kenzie, have you really touched the crafting part at all?
No, because it's just so expensive.
Fair.
And
Yeah, that is one thing. Way too expensive.
it's like going back to my whole grind thing. You spend all this time grinding, then you sell your glint, you might be able to craft like a couple of things,
Yeah.
right? But it's nowhere near what you need to actually get a solid foothold going.
It's a complete separate grind. Like, to the grind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To the other grind. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of vertical paths that happen. So
Which honestly, I'd be okay with it if it wasn't such a grind to even get, to get there. It's having a 9 to 5 feels almost impossible to keep up with everybody else playing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel that. And on top of that, we have it feels like the settlements, as they are now called. We no longer call them nodes; they're now settlements.
That's gonna take some getting used to.
It feels
I'm
like
not a fan of that one.
the rate at which the settlements are leveling is a bit slower, or in certain cases, very buggy. And so they aren't necessarily leveling when they should be leveling, or they get reset for whatever reason. So I think that all of these things in combination are also adding to that, right? You've got these guilds or these people that are already a part of these bigger cities, and people trying to level up these other settlements so that they're getting progression as well. Not really keeping up very much at the moment. It is all in alpha, so this is to be expected. But it does kind of, I guess, suck when that happens. And a big thing that's happened this last week are the constant rollbacks that have happened. Either once while we were at PAX due to the rarity situation, or most recently due to some issue with vendors and items being added to them. So
Too many items that weren't supposed to be available yet.
Yeah. Took 5 gold to level up weaving to apprentice, just weaving. Yeah, so like it's one of those things where it depends on what you do, right? So I mean, you have to find your way of being able to make gold, and that's been a big thing, is how do I make gold so that I could do the processing, because the processing is expensive, especially when they added a bunch of new materials, at least to alchemy. I can speak to alchemy part. They added new materials and things that you need to have to do those same processes from phase 2.5. And I mean, processing was already expensive to begin with compared to the other two tiers, or what do you call it, paths for the artisans. With crafting, you could it just took you whatever items and a little bit of pocket change to craft the item. And with gathering, you just went out and gathered, and then you had to pay repair costs. But aside from that, I think that it's a little different how you make gold, right? You just got to figure that out part. Aw, thank you, Mord. Appreciate you. Cheers.
More just one of the top spot.
That's what I was thinking.
But Surgeon says all things that require better gear, which require crafting, unfortunately. And I mean, I don't mind the crafting part. I think that that's important. But also, game performance is so bad. I have a 3080 32 gigabyte RAM, and when Ashes is open, my PC is struggling on low settings, which last phase I could play on ultra and high. That's interesting. I'm having the opposite experience. Last phase, my game was struggling a little bit. But to add on to this, the expectation and eventual plan for average player gear progression is that by the end of the set grade, so every 10 levels, you will be decked out in lower tier gear with a few mid-tier items sprinkled in, and crafters will be able to deliver mid and high tier gear into the economy, as well as drops from named mobs and bosses. So I don't think, based off of that comment that they made, I don't think we're there yet. I think we're trying to figure out how to get there. I think that they're trying to figure out,
I think in a perfect node situation, that might be the case.
Yeah.
I think without that, it's probably lagging behind. They need to, this has been a problem with the start of a phase, is the settlements, or the settlements as they are now, are a big gating factor for progressing in the grind, progressing in the gear, progressing in a lot. It is a huge gating factor until buildings are up to do things. So
yeah,
that continues to be a thing. So.
Absolutely. The other thing I wanted to say, this occurred to me, and this is something like I kind of want to hear what people's thoughts are. I might actually believe it or not, I might make a Reddit post on this later. What should a beginning of server situation look like compared to after having built it up for a month or two and those people joining? Because those are two extremely different experiences. And I feel like the way that Intrepid is going about everything, it feels like they're looking at the long term where we've been established. So like the amount of materials would have been plentiful over time. So I feel like how do we get from this beginning stage where everybody is making a mad dash for leveling their settlements to that point? Because it feels like an end point and not like a good middle ground. For me personally, I would like to see, before the settlements kind of progress, that tier 1 novice gear has a very low buy-in for novices to make gear and whatever they need to make, including gold, because there's not a whole lot of gold on the server quite yet. But as those settlements grow, then you increase the amount based on the settlement level, in my opinion.
There should be some tie-in with what the world's money, inflationary cost exists as. I don't know how they accomplish that and how they have it currently, but it's on their economy person. So, realistically, they'd have to slope it to be a bit more exponential to really kind of alleviate that differences between, all right, here's the start, here's middle of game, things are built up. You kind of have to make that more slopey.
Yeah.
Which right now everything is it's not that exponential. As you level up, I mean, the grind sucks, but it's pretty much all right. It's just a little worse than the last level, really kind of get away from that. You kind of go, okay, the last level, really not much more than the last. Okay, we're getting into the middle levels. Oh, it's ramping hard.
Yeah.
And then higher levels, it has to ramp really hard.
Really, really hard. Yeah.
But
I don't know. I'd like to see something where like the tier 1 novice gear specifically has a low buy-in, but like tier 2 starts to be equatable with like tier 1 of apprentice, for example. And then that way you have the tier 1 novice specifically super easy for like Mackenzie and us and other people to just get your gear, because if they're not dropping and you need to make it, I feel like it should be a little more accessible, at least initially.
I mean, tier 2 and tier 3 of a tier or grade 2 and 3, which one's tier?
So novice is the grade, and then there's tiers within that grade. So tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3.
Tier 2 and tier 3, I think, should have an upgrade path to be, slap some other material in with crafting, get it to the next grade.
Yeah.
Just base level next grade. Most people, have to make that decision. Oh, is my gear better at this, or is it better at the next grade, but base level tier?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to see that.
Very fair.
That'll bridge some of that gap between gear missing.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Mackenzie?
I just kind of feel like gear currently doesn't scale with level well. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm just playing no crafting, even just the drops I get aren't gonna keep me around much longer to where I need to start looking for a replacement. So like you almost have to craft it right now, and
That's
that takes
hard.
away from you getting just pure levels in your character.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a bad cycle that just kind of deters you from even caring about gear right now anyways, till you get to like, I guess the end game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, I was responding to Mr. Noobtastic, who says, I'd like to see the novice stuff sped up, keep the adept and higher more of a grind. And I was like, yeah, I basically agree with that, because I was just saying, like, make tier 1 super accessible, tier 2 and 3 of novice or initiate, whatever you want to call it. Keep those a little bit more ramped up comparatively, but make it easy. Like, I'd love to see, in a perfect world, a first time user experience where you get a quest to make the gear that you're looking for, or at least an item from the gear you're looking for.
Quest?
Yeah, a crafting quest. And it would have like the oh, you are a insert thing. You could choose heavy, medium, or light gear, and then whatever choice you choose there, you get a quest that says, okay, to make medium gear, head over to this person, and we go talk to them, and they say, do you want a shirt, pants, or shoes, for example, because I think those are the first options you get. And you select the one that you want to choose for the quest. It'll walk you through that, but then you just follow those same steps for like the other 2 items that you're trying to get, and boom, now you have your first set of gear through a quest that is also much easier to walk the person through how that stuff works, instead of just dumping you off and being like, here's this area, enjoy. But yeah, you can craft better gear earlier in the game that can carry you to the end game. You can. It's just going to take a lot of time and effort and resources and luck.
And it should.
It should, absolutely. So honestly, there's no point in having 3 tiers of novice gear since you get to level 10. And well, there is. If you get really good quality, that should carry you over until you can get whatever you need for the adept gear. in my
there's
opinion.
definitely a trade-off there. Like if you got really good quality, then there's no point in just like immediately slapping in the next tier, next grade.
Yeah.
I really don't like that they have those names like that.
Yeah, it's a little confusing for sure. I'm gonna move us on. People rolling alts who have money and want to grind skills. Yeah, so there is, like, for the crafter side, there is reason to have those for beginning levels and things like that. No need. No need to worry about like the upper tiers unless you just, that's what you want to focus on. That's fine. Everybody's got their playstyle. I'll move us on over to the Harbinger update, which will make some of you sad. And I say sad because I'm thinking of our summoner friends in particular. However, there is a silver lining to this dark cloud. So just to kind of give you an idea, what is the Harbinger update in case you've missed it? The Harbinger update will be a huge system that they're incorporating. So thank you. Huzzah.
It was bugging me that it said 97 of 100. Sorry.
I appreciate you.
You do something really funny right now.
I will have to come up
Sorry,
with
my OCD takes over sometimes.
It's fine. It's fine.
I need even numbers.
I appreciate you. 100 subs, let's go. Yes,
Oh
that's amazing.
God.
Gamer, now it's 101. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Wait. Yeah, 1. Yep, 101. Thank you so much. Huzzah to you too. I'm trying to not drink this rosemary. There we go.
I'm gonna
Huzzah.
bridge shuffle for Mac. That's what I'm gonna do on that one.
Oh my gosh. They're calling you out now. So for those that don't know, the Harbinger system will have a PVX events related to the Ancients faction. They will be replayable and varied, and there's going to be a lot of updates every Tuesday. So every Tuesday they'll be doing some updates up until they are done, and the final date for that is November 18th. This will include dynamic environment changes that will occur based on these Harbinger events. They also have that, I think that the Harbinger events are not going to replace the rotating lawless zones. They're going to be included with it, which for those of us in the PvE side of things are like, oh man, another PvP-esque thing that is also rotating with PvP in it. Yay. So we're gonna see how this goes, because I understand that they're trying to go for PvX here. But I do hear a little bit of exhaustion coming from the PvE community of a lot of things, especially as we get into this next part coming up here shortly. A lot of things related to PvPers and not as much things related to PvEers. However, I would like to add that the event will last several hours, and it will require players to push back corruption, and also that instance dungeons are planned, and they will not be part of the upcoming milestone, but they will be coming eventually, as well as there will be multiple world bosses, including Skarisha, the Scorpion boss, who will be updated and have a better place. And the Ancient One boss will also be added in theme with the Harbinger events. I did ask, and they did confirm that Summoner and Renkai, all of the cherry on top items that they showed, will not be until November 18th. So I apologize, Summoner wannabe mains out there, but Summoner will not be coming until November 18th. However, for a very specific Summoner wannabe main, I know you're going to be happy because you can actually be a Renkai Summoner main. And that would be for Oracle. I'm calling you out a little bit there. But the goal with these larger updates is to have like not all of the content be trickled in like the previous phases, but to have them be released all at once. What are your thoughts on this? This is like a new direction, I guess, that they're going, where they're packaging this as like a milestone rather, and then by the end of the milestone, you are seeing the full effect of everything. So what are your thoughts? Do you like this? Do you not like this? And then additionally, how do you feel about another PVX PvP thing rotating?
I feel like the PVX, PvP, PvE, all that, that's just sounds like fun content that they're, hoping people will engage with, which is great. I mean, more of that is good. It's all population based, so hopefully we don't see fall off there. Obviously the November 18th, if they're doing these milestones, it should attract people to come back if they've left in between, which will be good. No destruction not being in it is a kind of a letdown in my mind, because I feel like that's a big blocking factor, like in terms of agile methodology. Just like that's a huge blocking factor for a lot of the node stuff. But we'll see. It will be interesting. I think it's said that it's going to be on the following milestone update. How often do they do these milestone updates? Cadence for that would be really good. Are these like, once again, methodology, is this for these sprints that they're just like packaging together as a release, which would make more sense? Or are these just kind of mini sprints that they're just kind of gonna throw in every Tuesday?
I'm curious.
I'm very curious from a development side on that one.
What are your thoughts, Kenzie?
I don't think anybody's gonna be really upset over more content, Like honestly, like who would?
I hate it. God.
Go play something else, I guess. But
True.
I mean, I assume it's gonna be similar to like the events they already have in game, right? Maybe on a bigger scale. Am I wrong in saying that?
I can't really say for sure since I don't really know.
The biggest thing I'm hung up on is the instance dungeons, honestly. I feel like one of the biggest drives to this game was that the dungeons are just out in the world and you can fight over who gets to do the dungeon. So I don't know if that's like an all dungeon thing, certain dungeons, but one of the biggest things that drew me to Ashes was, if I just want to go ruin someone's day, I can. So
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of people that want to do that.
And I think that's kind of the biggest, like, what do you call it? The biggest thing that has some people kind of pulling back, because currently, at least on Shoal, and I've seen this across the community in general since we got back from PAX, I'm not saying this to call people out. I'm just saying it because that is what I've seen. So I'm reporting on the news. I am not, but Polar has been known to have a lot higher of their people. And when a zone such as the Highwayman Hills or the Remnants of Civilian take over into being a open world PvP lawless zone where people are actively trying to level, you have all of these higher level people infiltrating on a space that would otherwise be very ideal for these lower level people to be leveling. And this is exactly why I was saying I would probably be avoiding these areas altogether myself. Because especially, I don't know if it actually is giving you a heads up before it just pops somewhere. I haven't seen one myself, but oftentimes while I'm playing as of late, I have it on my other computer screen and I'm just, processing something over there probably, or picking flowers or fishing, AFK fishing while I work. So I didn't notice any announcement of a PvP zone starting. But this is exactly why I would be
lawless popping zones in leveling areas is a recipe for a lot of very angry PvEers.
Yes. Yes. I
say that as a PvPer that would like to just run through there and kill people.
That's fair. But yeah, that's and I mean, it is important to make sure that, you know, we don't completely ostracize the PvE community with overloading everything with PvP. And so I'm hoping that Intrepid keeps an eye on this and finds some way to adjust it. I don't really think that they intend on adjusting it too much. But as of right now, with the announcements of the arenas, which I believe was during the interview with Doc Burns and things like that, where like the arenas will continue to be instanced and things like that, you pretty much just have a small portion of PvE content that is instanced, and then these arenas that are instanced. And I can already tell you ahead of time, a lot of the PvE players are going to want to have something equatable to what the arenas are giving. If you're getting anything from arenas and leaderboards, we would love to have something like that on the PvE side with cosmetics and stuff like that too, if you're going to give it to the arenas. But I don't know how that's going to unfold. Intrepid's already said that I don't believe they're going to intend on doing it like World of Warcraft's what do you call this? The Mythic Dungeons?
Dungeon Finder, yeah.
Well, not even a Dungeon Finder, but the Mythic Dungeons. But I believe that they said there would be a queue for the arenas, which is akin to the Dungeon Finder too, yeah. So that's a whole other bag of worms. I'm very curious to see how the PvPers are dealing with that, but overall, I agree with you. I think the Harbinger system bringing more content to the world, and I believe I saw Mr. Noobtastic say that as well, would be very helpful. I think having anything that makes the world feel alive and something to interact with, that PvE side of life, is very interesting and very welcomed, because right now the world feels either go do quests or go find a mob to grind, and maybe there might be an event nearby. So I suppose with that, the other big kind of PvE thing is that there's now going to be open sea fishing, which I didn't realize did not exist up until I was out in the desert trying to find a pretty place to AFK fish for some content. And I was trying to fish apparently in the ocean, even though I didn't realize I was like in the ocean. So open sea fishing is going to happen, and I believe so there's going to be a mini game associated with that, as well as new ship components such as fish tanks and radar, including a new ship type. So what are your thoughts on that? Are we excited about that? I think it's safe to say Mackenzie is.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah.
Go for it.
I will. Yeah, I think that fishing in most MMOs is kind of boring. So just like, which is weird because everybody loves a fishing minigame, right? Mm-hmm. Like, just give me something, anything, and I will be the number one fisherman on the server, guaranteed.
I mean, not everybody loves it. I can tell you right now, I'm pretty sure one of the most downloaded mods for Stardew Valley is to skip the fishing minigame.
No, those guys are just bad at it.
That's funny.
But no, I do want a minigame, or at least something more than setting a mouse macro to just do my fishing for me and continue going.
Yeah. I will say Steven has mentioned previously that the reason why they didn't include minigames initially is because they don't want it to become monotonous. They want it to be something that's fun and engaging. And I'm very curious to see how they do it. Will they be doing it where the minigame is optional, where you can get better rewards from participating in said minigame, but if you don't do the minigame, you can still get a basic line of whatever material, be it fish or hunting? because they did mention there would be a mini game for hunting as well. Oh man, is that working? That is working. Okay, cool. Feel free to do ! Join for partaking in this battle of the champion of the hill. It's our fun little PvP thing that you can do on screen. But come get some. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I also think it's really nice to see a new ship type for fishing. I know that Nikua is very tied to that ship type for fishing in terms of lore. And I'm really excited to see, this is a PVX stream. I think we're excited just to see more in general with like the ship's situation as well as the artisan situation.
Well, more components on the ship would be great. I mean, hardly see the components on the caravans. I would love to see those too.
Yeah. I would love to see, because they did do that showcase at one point where there were the skills that you could have on your caravan. I would love to see that because I haven't really brought it up in a while and I'm not intending on talking about it tonight, but the whole defending a caravan thing, I think it would get a lot better if we had those systems in place. And Riptide is the winner with the donut. But yeah, do you have anything that you guys want to touch on from what we've talked about so far, or should I go ahead and move us on to the next section of topics?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So let me just put this out there. Actually, I'm going to put both of these up there. So this is what I used from Jamie5152 on Reddit for getting our breakdown of the live stream, because again, I didn't really have a whole lot of time to go and do my own notes this time around. But moving into this next segment, we do have this breakdown of Stephen Sharif's interview with the Copium Clinic or Dr. Burns. And he breaks it down question by question. So feel free to view that, for the full depth. But the first question that we wanted to talk about is RMTing in Ashes and how is Intrepid going to deal with that? And so Doc Burns asked, directly, how do you deal with botting or RMTing in Ashes? And Stephen responded that we adhere with the standard model for RMT abuse, which involves analyzing general player behavior with abnormal item transfers, acquisition of wealth, etc. They flag these instances, and I believe they use the Eye of Shawl for this, to then get inspected by a dedicated customer support. And then for botting, they also analyze data on key input, specific rotations, movement data, etc. that can help inform whether these actions are done by a human. We also inspect the client processes, etc., which also leverage our dedicated customer support team to verify. And I think that the reason why I wanted to pull this one out is there's a lot of people that that's been a big topic of the Alpha 2 in general. I can't even say one specific phase. I think every phase it comes back up. But, there's been a hot debate within the community, at least as of the last week. Should Intrepid be bopping every single one of these people that are cheating or exploiting every single time? Or should they leave them in because they need those types of people to find the bad stuff for them so that they can be aware of that and aware of the tactics and things like that? And I for one, don't have an opinion on it, but I do know that it's something that I don't know the answer to how to solve, but I hope Intrepid has an idea on how they want to do it in general, besides what Steven shared there with, the Eye of Shawl and everything. What are your thoughts?
I know the standard is to just kind of watch and monitor and find out more, which works, but I think in an alpha state, I feel like it would probably just be better just to bop them all at once, like immediately. Give someone the opportunity to say, hey, I wasn't, and then go from there. Like it seems silly in an alpha to just be as aggressive as possible. Like,
cheers.
There's no reason.
Yeah, I think I agree, but I mean, I would kind of want a Rainbow Six Siege has this thing where every time somebody's banned, it pops up on the screen. I kind of want a ticker telling me all who's getting banned and just see how common it is.
Fair. Yeah, there's often the thought or the consideration of like, oh, if they get bopped, they're just going to go right back at it again. It just took them, what, a day, you know?
That's fine. I mean, you can draw patterns from that.
Absolutely. Ban Sos for having a great beard. I don't know if I can do that.
Can't do that one. Can't do that one.
Thank you.
I'll give Steven ideas.
Welcome to the tavern. False reports already. But yeah, I think that that's like a thing that they're going to continue going through, which, by the way, if anybody does not know what the Eye of Shoal is, it is a, I guess, software or a bot that Intrepid created to go through logs and different things, and just all the data that the server collects and look for abnormalities, patterns, things like that. And that's how they'd identify, I mean, the difference between somebody doing an RMT and our guild being very extremely kind to the Golden Feather and giving us 100 gold because they're just being nice. There's two very different things, but they can both seem suspicious at first glance. Why is this person getting all this money out of nowhere? Like they didn't do anything for it.
Things get flagged. They need to investigate.
Yeah. Exactly. So they might be getting useful data from the cheaters, but they are also getting irrelevant data from everyone else since the entire environment got contaminated. So it's a pros and cons thing. Exactly. LL 100 gold to begin big streams already. Oh no, that's how much you need for the freehold, basically. I think it's like 50 or 100 gold, something like that. But yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. I have to get out of everything just to respond. Sorry. But the next question, or the next thing that we kind of wanted to chat about, was the housing impact and vertical progression. And the question from Burns was, how will housing impact vertical progression? Donate 100 gold and get this commemorative shot glass. Exactly, Noobtastic. And his answer was that the housing is a shell for furniture, which is the main system that will allow this vertical progression. This can take the form of beds, providing buffs, stoves to cook enhanced food, etc. Higher quality furniture would provide better benefits, encouraging players to invest in building furniture that can maximize their progression. And I think he even mentioned at one point something about there being like a holographic 3D view of it all. But yeah, I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on this, Kenzie.
My thoughts.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on how like strong the buffs really are, right? I mean, if it's like 2% something or other, then like yeah, it has an impact, but unless you're min-maxing, are you really gonna miss it?
I mean, it kind of depends. I don't think you've really owned a freehold or had a freehold for so far, but the resting in the bed gives you extra XP buffs.
Yeah, but
And in terms of freeholds and housing and things like that, a tavern, which is my favorite part, we could have a inn tavern where we have a bunch of beds. So even if you don't own a freehold, sleeping in one of our beds would give you that same buff, especially because there's not going to be enough housing for everybody, which is kind of a sad feeling for Vertec and I. But we're happy to help if you guys end up helping us in game, talking to the general community here. We're happy to provide you with a place to sleep at night. You know, mi casa es su casa. But I think that it's really interesting because I feel like those like it depends. Things depend on how you build your housing out. You know, maybe that's where you go back to the carpenter and you get these higher quality beds or these higher quality furniture items that increase the amount of buff that you have. So somebody who's not necessarily focused on going out in the world to do all this PvP might focus more on building out their freehold or whatever. However, you could potentially lose that if the node gets sieged and down with the ship goes your freehold. But yeah, outside of that, though, I mean, Mr. Noobtastic says, I love that they plan on having housing being much more relevant than just a storage place, because that's one of those things. You've got, at least for freehold specifically, you've got the storage bin, but then you could also place a place to craft or process or whatever. You can place a freehold, or sorry, you could place a tavern on the freehold, which then allows you to have a business area, things like that. So I think for freehold specifically, there's a lot going on, but for housing on a different term, it's nice to know that you can still get some benefits without owning a freehold necessarily, if you can only get like an in-node apartment, for example. And so we were talking about the vertical progression on the freeholds, with there being higher quality furniture, providing better benefits, encouraging players to invest in building furniture that can maximize their progression.
Okay.
So a couple of examples where like a bed providing better buffs and foods providing enhanced food. Stoves providing enhanced food. So.
I mean, I'm all about good food providing me with good buffs. So.
Yeah. Fair. Okay, I will move us on to a different topic. Baron says, my issue is I tend to get deleted way too quickly in a large scale fights, but I imagine this would be solved in many ways. And Steven's response to this was saying, getting deleted to me means that you die quicker than you think you should. This can be solved through several ways, through baseline HP, innate passives, reactive buffs, resistance growth, etc. However, the other part of balancing classes is what we want nuance and expression as a class gets into late game or closer to 50. We may expect fighters, because this initially branched off of a fighters conversation, to at level 25 to have a difficult time diving backlines in large scale PvP, and that may be solved with additional abilities being level 30 or 35 or higher, for example. And so I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on this. I've already heard some people say, oh man, I feel so weak as a mage at the low levels, but as soon as I hit 25, I feel like I can like take on the world. And I think that that's good. I get that it sucks when you're a low level and you're not feeling like you can do as much as like the next guy over there, but he's also got some pitfalls that he's not able to do that you are. And so I think for me personally, I like this setup. I like the direction that they're going with this, because it allows for that physical feeling of class progression and that power to feel like it's actually showing up for you. But what are your thoughts, especially coming from the classes that you guys like to play and the PvP that you like to partake in?
Rangers, I mean, you get caught out as a ranger, you pretty much you don't really have as much survivability as you probably need to have. So you just always have to be in a group, like it's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
Fighters, I could definitely see if you're, depending on the scale of the combat, if it's like big PvP, you jumping back lines, you're gonna get just decimated no matter what if they're paying attention at all.
Yeah.
So like there's nothing you can do about that. That is entirely on them noticing. And you have to be smarter than just jumping further back than, I mean, realistically just behind the front line. Like like you just kind of have to be more smart on that. Middle scale, like what I believe they have PvP centered around, which is like 8-man. it gets a little bit more nuanced. Like you can do those plays to get in the back line. You can do things, get out. You have your mobility. You have your dodge roll, get in and out. Deleted is very hard to just get around.
Fair.
It is entire, like if it's big scale, anyone can be deleted. A
Yeah.
tank can be deleted.
Yeah. It's
So-
also, I feel like that's in part to play also your gear that you're wearing when you're getting deleted versus what the other person's wearing.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, big scale, gear, situational placement of you have a lot of people near you.
Yeah.
Bad thing. You have a lot of good people around you. Good thing. Like,
Yeah.
it just comes down to where you are a lot of the time.
That's fair.
In big PvP and 8v8, it's a lot more nuanced and a lot more fun in my mind.
Yeah. I agree.
When it comes to like bigger PvP like that, I feel like when I was playing my cleric, anytime that I truly died, it was more of a misplay on me, or we were already gonna lose that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Either I was too close to the front, or I thought I could save someone, so I ran up, and well, he could kill two people apparently.
With the heals.
So yeah. So I can't really say that, like, I feel like all the ranged classes that I've touched are at a pretty good spot for that big PvP, because I mean that's where they're going to thrive anyways. They're
Yeah.
just taking shots at each other all day long. Whoever has the most cannons wins.
Right.
So I kind of agree with Sos that the 8v8 has more tactic to it, as opposed to just I have the bigger gun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But as far as the fighter went, man, that fighters have a tough time in big PvP like that.
It's a range game.
I know
Right.
before Rogue came out, we were all saying that like it filled that Rogue role of trying to dive to the back line, but you just couldn't. I don't think you can do it on Rogue right now,
Yeah.
honestly. In a big scale. So I'm interested in seeing what happens to make sure that those classes have a voice in those engagements, because right
Yeah.
now they just don't.
That's fair. And I think that there's a lot that they have to do. I mean, as Mr. Noobtastic said, 8v8 is what Steven said that the balancing is supposed to be based on anyway. But with these extremely large sieges and these extremely large wars that happen, you know, there's got to be something that happens, whether it's strategically on the combat commander, whatever you want to call the person that's like the strategist of how to do the combat stuff, breaking people up into 8 pieces or 8 people, you know, groups, or
It's almost never breaking people up into 8. It's almost always give me a big number over here, give me a big number over here.
yeah,
It's entirely placement and numbers.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I was just also meaning how you could have like a rate of 40 and that's 5 groups of 8. So you'd say group 1, I need you over here. Group 2, I need you doing the flank part. Like that's what I meant by like breaking them up by 8s. And just kind of strategizing how to handle it in a term of we have these 8 people that synergize. Well, let's go have them do this. Like this group is really good at XYZ things. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be one of those things that it's going to feel good in certain situations and feel bad in other situations. And the poor tanks are tanks, but not in PvP.
tanks and PvP have always been a questionable thing. So
I'd say tanks in Ashes, especially in regard to the big fights, have been probably some of the best I've seen tank in an MMO setting.
Yeah.
Just, you know, the pull
Yeah.
the key players to the fighters, and then they don't have
it
to
is
die.
a very big control effect. And it's,
I think I was just more so meaning like what the tank is normally known as for the PvE side doesn't really have
they're
much of an
still
effect
glass.
on PvP. Yeah.
They're still
But
made of glass.
yeah. Yeah. But I think
damage
that
rules.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that they're not fun in PvP. I'm saying that the class fantasy in PvP is very different, whereas as a cleric, it feels the same. I'm still doing the same types of things I would normally do in a PvP scenario and the PvE scenario. Also, huzzah, Avarat. Thank you so much. Cheers. For those that are just joining or wondering, I am drinking the Dwarven Fire drink that is up on our YouTube channel that I put up last week. So it's nice and smoky. All right. Well, I think I have just one thing that I want to try and cover before we like just end or like do an ending chit chat. Which, if you guys are cool with it, I was gonna do a little bit of a bonus segment at the end of this. It might take like maybe 30 minutes at most, if that's okay with you. I don't know how much time you guys got.
No, that's cool.
Got
Okay.
plenty of time.
So before that, though, Steven outlined the beginnings of a player council to better understand the community as a whole. These would be rotating seats that help Intrepid focus on specific bugs or missing content that the community values higher than Intrepid does internally. I'm really curious on what that means, what that looks like, and I don't know. I do know that like our goal at TGFTavern is to grab your thoughts and bring them back to Intrepid. Just naturally, I don't know if I really want to be a part of a player council per se for it. That's just what we want to do. We want to be a herald for the community, like hearing your thoughts, hearing your opinions on things. Hello, Smallbean. All of that stuff, it matters to me. I want to hear like what the sore spots are, what the great spots are, and then be able to report those back to Intrepid and let them know, like our community is saying this, but what are your thoughts on this player council thing? I'm very curious because they've got a few things that I've heard now. There's the content creator program. There's, I think, like a guild something program that they've talked about, and now this player council.
Could go well. Depends
for
on
it.
how much they listen to it. I mean, depends on who's in it. How do you get in it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions that are surrounding what does that actually entail.
I think
Yeah.
it was intended on being like some sort of election basis.
That could
I'm not
go
sure.
well. That could go bad.
Yeah. I'm also, I guess one thing I'm nervous about is pushing a small but large amount of like a small but loud, I guess is what I meant, part of the community, versus ensuring that it's what the full community is actually feeling. A good prime example of this, which they've already shot down because they're listening, is the people that want to have red be viable, and they're like, no, red's not viable. I don't care how much
It
you ask for it. That's not going to happen.
It should never be viable.
It should never be viable. So like
It
that
is your
as an
punishment
example.
for being a bad player. Sorry.
Yeah. An evil player. You are the corrupted one. You went to the dark side. Anyway, but yeah, I think things like that, as long as, I think at this point, I trust Intrepid to stick to their original plan. There are so many things, myself included, where I was like, it would be cool if, and they're like, yeah, no, sorry, that's not how we're building this. And I was like, fair. I just wanted to share my thoughts. But yeah, I think,
Red is
okay.
bad. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this goes. I'm a little nervous of it just because I don't know like how they're gonna handle it. And I did see something about having election probably would be bad, but guilds would run the narrative essentially.
Yeah, I don't know how you would have to do it election style, but I don't know how you'd limit it. I don't know how you would make it so that it's not just a huge guild running everything. I just don't.
The caveat to that, though, is that the people running these guilds are arguably the most invested in the game. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
But that
Take
can
the-
go
take the money out of it.
badly. I'm thinking of a certain guild that tried to push things that not have been pushed. So
Oh, Nexus.
yeah, those guys. Those guys, right? No, I
How do you keep Joe Schmo, Mr. Bad Takes off of the council,
That-
though? You know,
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
same time, unless it's just, I don't know, lottery.
that's the gist of it. Is there are bad takes. And
Yeah.
maybe if it was something like the council proposes something and then everybody else votes on that, I mean, you could get around it that way. But
Yeah.
there's still a lot of power on being on that council to propose things.
True. I mean, I've seen alone what the dwarves are capable of when they assemble. I'm just saying. I think there was at one point a poll where something had to do with a dwarf, and the entire dwarven community showed up and blew it out the water. So, yeah, I loved it. That's really awesome.
Sorry, I kind of just think it's a bad idea.
Mm.
I think it could be a great idea if there are, rails to keep it not.
Well, if there's
terrible.
rails, if it's rails, is it really a players council?
That
If Intrepid just looked on their Reddit and seen the amount of, this is what I think, this is my issues, then you kind of don't need a players council. The community is heard.
that is true. I mean,
hire
you
a
could just
team
go
to
off
look
of
at that.
upvotes on Reddit.
That being said,
Shouldn't,
I will.
but
Right. I was gonna say, that being said, I have noticed as of late there's been more posts on Reddit from Reddit users who are leaving the Reddit because of how toxic it has gotten over there, or how negative rather it has gotten over there.
and if that's the creative space, that's going to be very negative. I assure you.
Well, I will tell you, they did definitely kick creators out of there a little while ago, like a while ago. Especially when we first hit, like, I think phase 1, and all those people are making those guides, like the best guide for XYZ. Like, they were like, nah, get out of here. So I teasingly say I'm a little scared of Reddit because I get nervous to post over there when I'm like, hey guys, we're doing a thing, because I just don't want to get like kicked out. I'm like, please be nice to me. I use your stuff for content and it's like in a good way. But yeah, all in all, I'm curious about it. I'd like to see more about it. I just don't know how to feel quite about it. And then also I'd like to see them officially stand up one of these groups that they've been talking about before worrying about another group. And that's not me giving like a negative critique to them. It's just more like, that's just a lot of groups to run at once. And we haven't even started. We don't even know what running the content creator group, plural groups, would be like, because they have the official content creator group, and then they also have the hey, I want to be a content creator officially with you, here's my training group. So the Bardic College, they called it, I believe. So like that's already 2 out of
This is a great
4.
name.
So Riptide, cheers, huzzah, thank you.
We're at 107 against us.
Yeah, I noticed.
He was like, don't
Trust
tempt
me,
me.
Mackenzie. I noticed.
All right, so I think that's pretty much all I really have to say, because I think, I think there's a lot of, hey, actually really quick, I missed this one from Nihili. The criteria should be people who are actually submitting bug reports. I kind of agree with that, because those are the people that are in it the most and actively giving feedback, like bug reports and feedback. I want to add that on there as well.
Just saying bug reports. They need to be quality bug reports. Like
Quality bug reports, quality feedback.
There's people that are just dropping bug reports. And I'm like, I've worked help desk. I know what these tickets are made of. Okay.
Yeah.
That is not helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. I did throw in etc., but I do agree it should be more. Yeah. I saw the etc. But yeah, I think definitely, because like you could totally be like, this sucks, the end. That's the feedback. Or you could be like, this feels bad because XYZ. It'd feel better if ABC. And then that's your feedback. That's much more quality. That's much more helpful for them. And then also, like, what was your expectation? Why did it feel bad? What did you expect it to happen? Like, I remember giving feedback to Plannin. I hate to be a complainer, but like that felt horrible when we got sieged by whoever it was, that node. We were in a node war. And then on top of that, we got 3 or 4 Guild War decks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right at the same time. Like, everybody knew that we were going to have a siege war. And so certain guilds were like, all right, well, we're going to Guild War you as well.
Yep.
I think I was fighter then, so. And
that felt really bad. So I was definitely in my feels at that moment because I already don't like PvP. I will deal with PvP because I'm there to support my group, and that's fine. But there comes a point when there's too much PvP happening and is too stacked against you, and that was that
I
point.
Remember that time? That was really funny because they declared the Guild War as I was running through their entire force, like waiting for us.
Yep.
To start the node war.
Yep.
And I just see all these people around me turn red.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
And they didn't catch me. They didn't catch me.
It's that I'm in danger moment.
Very much.
Yeah, it's crazy. Leroy Jenkins, welcome to the tavern. Thank you for the follow. But yeah, no, I think it's just one of those things where like there's a certain amount, and then making sure that you give that helpful feedback. I needed to take a moment. I needed to go take a breather and then, come back and give them my thoughts on things. So I wasn't so emotional.
Feeling.
No,
like, it just wasn't. I don't know how they prevent it because it's two separate systems.
I think that ended up causing, and I don't know if it's the direct. Nahili, huzzah! Welcome in. I meant thank you for the patronage. I don't know. I said welcome in. You've been talking, but I think I don't want to say my response directly and insinuate, or wait, what is the word? Caused this? That's what I'm gonna go with. Welcome in. It's good. But after I talked to Plannin, shortly after that, they added the 3 Guild War limit. And I tried getting feedback from a few other people as well on how that felt, and compile that and then give that to Plannin as well. So it's not just my opinion, it's other people's opinions too. Because I wouldn't
have felt bad if it was like organic and like, oh, okay, these guild wars just kind of happened, but everybody on the server knew
that was absolutely planned.
Yeah.
That was absolutely planned. I get also that's currently only the way that some people have content. So,
especially during that phase, that was absolutely the only content.
Yeah.
For some.
Yeah. And we're starting to get more. But it's a slow progression to that point. So I suppose that kind of covers the main bits of the last week or so within the Ashes community. The only other thing that I would like to touch on is the conversation around vassalization, Winstead, and the siege, and all of that happened.
Weird turn of events.
It was a very strange turn of events. And then on top of that, I think there was also like Steven putting out that, he didn't necessarily tell either side not to do something outside of telling the people of Winstead specifically to maybe, instead of filling it up with level 1s, allowing people into that content regardless. That's like the major disparaging thing that kind of came from Steven over that whole situation. But there's a lot of feelings around that, as well as these rollbacks that have been happening in Ashes in terms of, losing progression sucks. I agree. It feels bad, but it's a part of the game at the moment with the alpha specifically. And I know people are tired of hearing this is an alpha, etc., but I can't help it. It is an alpha. That's what's expected. But I'm not using it to be dismissive. I'm saying it is what it is. It's an alpha. And you know, these rollbacks, like they're gonna happen. Bugs sneak in somehow. Weird things happen with rarity. Those are the two major things that I can think of that caused a rollback to occur. But all in all, I think that there's also weird things going on with sieges, and sieges aren't as meaningful at the moment as they will be in the future because of the node degradation or destruction not being there. But eventually we will get that.
Yeah.
I have the worst stance. I think there should be a bit more wipes with us being boosted after on some of them, test specific things. I would be fine with that. I mean, honestly, Shoal, I think the reason why they're not trying to do that is because they want there to be some data on natural progression. But utilizing the PTR for these wipes and testing specific things, I think that's the intent. I hope that they actually go through and use that a lot more. And they did mention at this point in the video that's on screen that is the intent, that the PTR will be about 3 to 5 days ahead of live for testing stuff before it comes out. But the caveat on that is not having enough people on the PTR means that bugs can come through to live and then cause other issues. So, I mean, I think that's why they're trying to incentivize people through like cosmetics and other rewards to go and test ahead of time.
I would like to see the PTR be a little bit further than 3 to 5 days. Like,
Okay.
like a week to 2 weeks probably would be a better place. I mean, especially if they're changing how they're wanting to push out content.
Yeah.
The cadence of it. It would just make more sense. Like that's closer to kind of a standard for, you know, visualization of new things, especially in this testing environment.
Yeah.
I said it before, like the node destruction, it seems like a blocking feature for the vassalization system in general, but it is what it is. It didn't make much sense what vassalized what at the end of the day.
Right.
I don't want to have to like go and mine the data to try and figure out what the hell the algorithm is to determine what gets vassalized. But
I will say, because I like, it's our interview and your questions. Well, that is one of the questions that was proposed to us to ask Steven. And I'm also curious myself. And that's specifically around like, how is it determined which nodes vassalize other nodes? Is it predetermined? Is it random? Like things like that.
it would I mean, we're limited right now because obviously there's only the 2 regions, but you know, when the world opens up and there's more out there, it'll be, you know, a lot more ability to be strategic around, okay, when we know this node is going to level up, it's going to vassalize this, it's going to vassalize this. There's no knowledge right now at all of what's going to vassalize.
Yeah.
So
That's fair. This also seems like no rhyme or reason to it either, necessarily.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts, Kenzie?
I don't know if I have many besides. What's the point of the PTR if you're only putting it on there 3 to 5 days early? You know, like to me, that just says our PTR realm is just so some people get it 3 to 5 days early. Everything's a test. Just if you're actually going to use it for testing purposes, then you got to put it on there longer. Especially bigger updates like they're promising.
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't know how 3 to 5 days is going to give us anything before November 18th. Anything.
Yeah, I feel like almost if it's as big of an update as they're saying, that stuff needs to be on a PTR like soon. Yeah.
I think if I understood what he's talking about, if every Tuesday there's a new update, 3 to 5 days before Tuesday, whatever is going to be in that update is being tested. That's what I understood it as.
I can understand that, but how many times has this feature not been ready? And okay, it didn't make it in this update. Well, that's great. Did that cause any other issues because it's now not there in the build?
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces that are stuck together.
True.
If one doesn't make it in, is it going to block another?
Right.
If it does,
will that cause a backlog, etc.?
Yeah. How much is the 3 to 5 days going to hurt at that point?
That's fair.
Part of me can't wrap my head around if this is an alpha and we're all testers, regardless of PTR access or not. 3 to 5 days, why not just push it to the live servers instead?
Fire in the hole.
I mean,
I can see that. I think it's also just to kind of get sentiment around it and, at least get the major bugs out of the way. Oh, there's another champion of the hill.
I mean, also going on it, like, how many times have we seen where a build is just not good and then they have to push it back a couple hours or rebuild it?
Yeah. Max says, full send, let's go.
I mean, maybe I just don't understand behind the scenes enough, but to me it just feels early access for the early access right now, not really an adequate time to test things,
Yeah. We also don't really know at this point in time what exactly they want testing. If they want to just test to make sure that everything that they've done on their end is working good enough to get on the live server, 3 to 5 days is adequate. If it's a brand new thing that is big and major and gonna break a lot of stuff, I could see 3 to 5 days not being adequate.
That's what I worry about, is the bigger things. And if it's just used for the smaller things, yeah. If it's just oh, hey, look, this this UI is working and this little piece is good and it looks good, great.
Yeah.
Anything that ties to that, though.
Yeah, fair. I was just laughing because I think Noob stole the donut since he won with the donut.
Even just this past rollback.
Yeah.
They had content that slipped in that wasn't supposed to show up. Minor mistake. But how much of that could have been prevented if it was, in a build. Tested.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Nihili says, even as an early backer, I always thought testing was about specifically testing key things. I appreciate the class balancing, but it'd be nice for a heavy focus on key game features. Probably why I wish they hadn't made this feel like a game and more of an actual test. And that's fair.
Yeah, you go either way on that for certain people. So
yeah,
a lot of people want a game to play.
Fair. Not my fault you couldn't finish the whole box. They're going on with their banter of the donut.
The donut.
But yeah, I think that, there's a lot of key things. There's ways that I wish we could test it. I'd love to see more of the focus tests specifically on the PTR. I'd love to see more effort in, hey, you know what? We hear that this issue is happening on the live server with the economy. We have this economy change. Let's get you guys testing this economy change for a couple of days just to make sure that, it's up 24/7 for those couple of days, just so that we have the most wide net possible to cast for people to come and test it. And then if, after those few days, we don't really get any negative feedback for it, we can move forward with that. Otherwise, with the economy specifically, it's hey, here's a slightly different direction we're going with everything. how does this feel compared to live? Now you can jump back and forth between live and PTR, which is still going to remain under visual NDA, by the way. But at least you can, anybody who has access to the phase 3 has access to the PTR. So you can jump between live, you can jump back to the PTR and feel them one to one. How does this feel over here? How does this feel over there? Is this the direction that I would like? Is this the direction I would not like? And how does this feel long term too? Like testing some of this stuff off first riff can feel pretty good. It feels like it goes in the right direction. They go, cool, full send, build it out. It goes on live and you go, well, actually this feels kind of cumbersome after I've gotten more testing in.
I think that was a good thing about between the 2.5 and 3 phase. Obviously it was like a stark difference between live and what was on PTR at that point. So.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite part about having PTR and Shoal separate from each other for that bit. It felt really good to just be able to like, I forgot how hard it was playing on Shoal with it being what 4.5 or something, 5.3, sorry, 5.3 versus 5.5. And I went from testing primarily on the PTR to going on to Shoal real quick to grab some content for stream and being like, oh man, I'm struggling to run around right now. I forgot how this felt, and it just kind of reminds you of like where the game currently is versus where it's going. And it felt really good for that. I admittedly did not do too much of the artisan testing on the PTR, but that's also because for one, limited time, for two, I thought that they weren't done with all of the artisan or economic changes. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't full send into that until phase 3, basically.
You want to see where we came from? Bring APOC back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were actually talking about that. Vertec was playing last night, and I was like, why is Ashes so pretty? And he goes, it was born that way. And we both looked at each other, so you're like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was the summer she turned pretty, and next year it'll be the hot girl summer.
I want to see the prettiness. It was that first turn up of APOC. All right, that first game.
Do you remember Mage Girl with the face?
Yes. I think that video's still out there.
That video is still out there. If you go on the official Ashes YouTube and you search, you change it by oldest, you'll find it.
So pretty.
Surgeon says I would love to play that again. Noobtastic says
I know a lot of people that would like to play APOC again as an actual legitimate game.
I would love to see that as like an event.
That'd be cool.
That would be, honestly, we were talking about it for like the server meshing, like getting out with whatever you had on you. Everything else gone. Basically. Noob says they should put up a phase 1 server for like a week before, just to remind people. Yeah. Phase 1. Oh man. I would love to have Mackenzie talk about Star Citizen. Is that you, Mackenzie?
That is.
He's like, no.
It could be
totally
anybody.
not
It
me.
could be anybody. This is the internet.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I started this earlier, but I'll say that's kind of the official kind of ending of what we missed. Now I want to tell you guys what you guys missed. So Erwin had put up a goal. If we had hit 200 subscribers, which we did, we would do a live stream at PAX. However, the problem is, well, we got to the room and we tried turning on the ACs and it kept popping the circuit breaker. And we tried a number of things to try to not pop the circuit breaker and also keep it from being hot in the condo that we were renting.
Wild to me, a place that doesn't have central AC.
Yeah, there was no central AC, and all of the wall plugs were on the same circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So plugging in to do a live stream, not so hot. I mean, it would be literally hot.
No, it would be hot.
Because we'd have to unplug I think all of the ACs. You'd have to make sure all the ACs were off in order to do a live stream. So I will say I did grab video of us trying the Tavern's mead, the Golden Feathers mead from 3 years ago. For those that don't know, Vertec made some mead. He made 2 types of mead specifically. One was a nice cherry cinnamony mead, and the second was a more spiced mead, although I think the orange flavoring of that kind of lost its touch. However, we were able to go to PAX West and meet up with Sos, Mackenzie, Zara, Zeke, Saken, Treble, Warriors and Warriors significant other, Crayola, and we all were able to hang out and at different parts of the con and see a bunch of really cool stuff. And it was really fun because at one point the 5 of us, myself, Vertex, Sos, Mackenzie, Zara, all got into the Alienware booth, and we played against each other. It was Sos, Vertec, and me versus Zara and Mackenzie, and that was really fun. I grabbed a couple of photos of that. I will be putting those up in a video. I'm actually going to be working on the video tonight/tomorrow, so it'll go out tomorrow at some point. A big highlight reel of all of the things that we did at PAX that we got photos of, but it was fun. Those 2 are laughing because they had...
Never forget Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel
Never
Girl.
forget.
I want you to guess who won.
But that was a lot
the
of
people that don't play Marvel Rivals.
that was really fun though. It was really, really cool. I ended up eating a good grouping of their team, and the guy that was playing the Jeff on the other team was like, "Who was the other Jeff?" And I was like, "Me." I don't really play much, but hi. And then what else did we do? We went out for Hot Pot. We played a lot of Dungeon Box, which I think would be really fun to play at some point for a Nexus game night or a community game night. I'm just a little scared to put it on stream.
It could get raunchy if you don't have some guardrails. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what is Dungeon Box, in case you're wondering? It's Jackbox, but D&D, essentially, where you have an AI DM that guides you through some pre-scripted things, and you guys when I had to go to bed early the first night, but you guys stayed up and played it, and you made a password for a goblin, I think. I don't, can you remind me what that story was, because that was pretty funny.
We had to go save the mayor's daughter from a goblin camp, and I don't remember. We BS'd our way through the first guy. I think we said it was a goblin camp inspection. And then
somewhere along the way, they asked us for the password.
Yeah.
And I definitely put in Hoya Hoya and won the roll.
That's awesome.
With the natural 20. And wow, would you look at that? That was the password.
I think he said, "I've never heard such a great password before," as if he didn't know the password.
That's funny.
It worked.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun times. It was pretty crazy. Thank you. Cheers. And then what else? We were gonna do a whodunit murder mystery. We kept trying to do it multiple times, and then the last day, I think everybody just kind of got pooped. And they also pushed it to a weird time, so yeah, it didn't work out. But Kenzie and Zara got to meet the voice actor for one of the characters, or 2 of the characters, I believe, in Marvel Rivals. Vertec went to a cyber security panel for gaming. I tried to go to a build my own armor gauntlet thing. That was a whole thing. That was also the first day of the con, so I was a little bit nervous after that one. Needless to say, Vertec went and cared. yeah, a lot of good food. We introduced them to Food Truck Alley and hit consecutively Food Truck Alley a lot of times.
Lots of Red Bull.
Lots of Red Bull.
Oh,
They give
yeah.
out a lot of free Red Bull while you're there.
Yeah.
Vertec actually partook in Tetris tournament and did not get the max level, but I got a video of that too, so that'll be in the highlight reel. And then I got a video of you guys having our mead. That was really cool. What else? Is there anything else that I'm really missing? Not really, I don't think. Lots of random bits in there, but definitely a lot of dungeon box.
Lots of complication with flights afterwards, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
That's
That was
fair.
horrible.
Yeah. Lots of not feeling well. We miss you too, Zara. Where everybody's
Zara.
wondering when's the next Nexus meetup.
Oh no,
Don't know.
soon,
Soon, TM.
tomorrow.
Riptide says, you guys didn't go to the local. We didn't really get much beyond the immediate vicinity. I think we left it twice.
Yeah, well, one time was our uphill battle against groceries.
Yes,
That
that
was
was
a fun
very
one.
fun. We had somebody show a place where you could go to get like some Asian groceries and everything. So we went grocery shopping, kind of, and then proceeded to walk back because we're like, how far could it be? And then didn't realize most of it was uphill. So that was fun.
Like 95% of it was uphill.
Yeah. Outside of that, I think we just went to a hot pot place quite close. And other than that, it was primarily whatever was at the food trucks. Lots of yummy Korean cheese dogs. And I forgot what. Oh,
Yeah.
lots of New York subs. Lots of New York subs.
Oh yeah,
Those were pretty good.
pretty good.
But yeah, I have it. I have it in the favorites for maybe next time. But I was actually working for this PAX West, and I may or may not be working for the next one. But a good portion of the time I was checking in on the room, the booth, trying to like figure all of that out. Yay! Look at you winning with the teapot. But rigged. But yeah, all in all, we had a lot of fun. We had Vertex said his favorite thing was we were checking out tea at the Gilded Tiefling, which I was obsessed with, that place. And a random person walked by and goes, "The Golden Feather," and then kept going. And we turned and we're like, "Hi, I don't know who you were, but thank you." Like, we got recognized. I can't believe this. Because that's the first time somebody random out in the world has ever said that to me. So that was really cool. If it was you, feel free to just DM us and say hi if you're too shy to tell us publicly. But hi, officially, if you didn't hear us at the con. But yeah, there's also, outside of that, there's a lot of really cool things that I got to be a part of. I can't really talk to you guys about it yet, but I'm working on it. But I will say a new segment is starting tomorrow morning, which is Chibi's Cozy Corner. And it may or may not have been inspired by some of the stuff going down at PAX. So pretty excited about it. But yeah, all in all, we had 10 of us, 10 Nexus members hanging out at one point or another. Having some fun. So yeah, thank you guys for the support, and I'm sorry that we couldn't live stream over there. I also have no idea how to live stream on a phone, much less if I would have good signal, because let me tell you, just trying to DM the other members in the group where I was took a hot minute at times. So yeah. I think there was like one point where somebody asked me where I was, and it'd been like 10 minutes since I sent my message that it actually sent, just because of how bad the signal was. So
Yikes.
yeah. But we will try to look and see if we can figure out next year maybe a way to do a stream thing. Maybe we can find a place that doesn't have all of the outlets on one so that we could probably hook up into streams, but we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was like our event at PAX, and we'll have a video soon for you guys. So is there anything that was like a highlight for you guys for PAX from your perspective? Mine was just getting to see you guys in person. That was pretty cool.
I mean, that's mostly.
Yeah, that was all right.
That was all right. I mean, it's all right.
Zara got a get better message straight from the voice actor.
That was probably my highlight. Adam Warlock's wife is Storm's voice actor. So when Zara was sick and couldn't go like the first half of one day, I went to go meet him and tell him that. And he's like, "Oh man, my wife's sick too. Can I borrow your phone?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
Adam Warlock asked you for your phone first off.
Yeah.
Yes.
You say yes. So he recorded a get well message for her. He had to do it a couple times, but got some blooper reels too then. And then the next day when Zara was feeling better and she could make it, she got to record a get well message for Storm.
That's really awesome.
For him to send to her. So it was pretty cool.
That's really awesome. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think my highlight was just seeing you guys, because it's different when you get to see the people that you're gaming with online in person.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah.
That and having fun drinks and having like an actual hectic Nexus night in person. But I guess I will say, in addition, like, yes, we are having Steven on for next Friday at 4:30 p.m. I think is the time that we're having him on Eastern, 1:30 Pacific time. We already have a good number of questions. I should probably give you guys that link. I have the link already set up on YouTube, so you can go ahead and hit notify for when we do go live with that. That way you are able to find it later, because we aren't partners on Twitch yet. We haven't managed to hit that milestone. So a lot of the reason why we make sure that we live stream on both platforms is because sometimes Twitch only holds things for like about a week or two, and then it goes away. So this is where like YouTube will keep it longer term. So this is where it'll live. Very excited about that. Really excited to ask a bunch of questions. I already had somebody say, "Oh, I bet you're going to ask questions about econ and artisan crafting trees," and I was like, "You bet I am." At minimum, I'm going to be asking those. But we're going to also be asking your questions, and some of them include a variety of things like how vassalship works and just some other stuff. I'll keep it surprised, but you still have a couple of days left to give us your questions in our Discord, and we would love to hear what you guys have to say. I think without further ado, I will say if you would like to help support us with our mead, I forgot to put it over here, but we are officially starting a donation drive, I would call it, I suppose. The first goal is $250, and this will help Vertec get started on mead making again. This will at least kind of help him to get some of the supplies that we lost. And once we hit 250, because this is one of 4 or 5 milestones, I will say. Let me see if I can actually pull it up. Once we get 250, we will be doing a video on what types of things Vertec uses to make mead and things like that, and his favorite stuff or that kind of thing. So let me see if I can find it. I think it's this one. Oh, it's large. Okay, hold on. I didn't realize how big I made this scroll. There we go. So right now we are at the goal of $250. We're currently trying to gather herbs, and this is my little overlay that I made for the goals. So as we get these milestones done, I will highlight what we've completed and the tracks towards the next thing and update the goal. So yeah, right now we're at the gathering herbs station of this. I was trying to go in order of how you would do things in Ashes, where you gather the herbs and like the wood and everything, and then you make like the barrel, and then you boil the water to put in the barrel. So yeah, that anything that you guys can put towards that, we would appreciate it. It's nothing that we expect or whatever. You guys had tried to help us last year with the hurricanes and everything, and we didn't want any assistance at that time, especially because we had no idea what would get covered. And a lot of what we needed to get covered, we were able to recover. So I stand by how I felt last year. This is just an optional if you would like to help us. We are also going to be saving up everything, or not everything, but a good chunk of what we make from this to go towards that, to help it along as well. So I will be updating it as we go. But I think that's pretty much all I have. There's a lot that has gone on over the last week, over the last month. Phase 3 has already started. And whatever your feelings are on Phase 3, we hope that you are just remembering that, you know, it is a test, it is an alpha. Please don't burn yourself out over it. I don't think Intrepid wants you to do that. We don't want you to do that. And if you're not having fun, if you're finding yourself getting extremely frustrated over wipes and rollbacks and stuff, I just encourage you, that's a good moment to just maybe take a step away from the game for about a week or so, come back a little while later, especially while they get some of these weird bugs worked out with everything. But yeah, any final thoughts to end our stream with for you two?
No, just can't wait for the next get together.
Fair.
Exactly.
I'll just go ahead and put out a reminder then. If you guys have not checked out Nexus, this is our guild. Oh, I haven't even started yet because I know beginning would be so cooked. Fair. Plug Sos. I plugged you guys. I plugged us technically. If you guys haven't checked out Nexus yet, it doubles up because I did it. Wow. I did it through both of them.
Shout out to the Mind Goblins.
Oh my goodness. Wow. But yeah, we're pretty, I'd say we're pretty chill. A lot of us are like this, maybe a little bit more chatty when we have drinks and everything, but it gets kind of hectic in the chat is all I'm going to say. Very fun, hectic though.
Sometimes we're not beholden by Twitch TOS, and yes.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and I hope that you found this helpful. It was not meant to be anything super like news heavy, but just our thoughts and reacting to all of the news that we missed while we were at PAX. And our next guest outside of Steven next week will be Percini and one of his leadership. So yeah, if you're wanting to maintain crafting as your gameplay, come join me in Nexus Fair. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.